Okay, the first thing I want to stress to you guys, whenever you have a triangle with 3 diagonals, which we have in this case, you cannot decompose. You must compose and subtract to find the triangle in the middle, okay? And if you don't see exactly why you got to do it that way, just kind of got to accept it. You can't draw anything in the middle to decompose this because it's either going to hit a diagonal or create another diagonal. So you got to compose it, okay? So when we do that, the way I like to do it is I kind of want to look at where my endpoints are. I'm going to kind of trace down and then make like a small dot here because that's going to be the lower left of my rectangle. And then trace down here, and I'm going to know I'm going to need another line here. I'm kind of making the 4 corners, and then I'm just going to connect it. And then I'm going to step back to make sure I got it. Looks good. Okay, I'm going to now compose and make a rectangle. I'll do it in red so you can see it. Okay, so there. I have to move that a little bit, but I will, so it lines up nicely. Okay, and I'm just going to move this down so it lines up perfectly. There you go. How many of you got that far last night? That's a good start. Okay? To make it easier on ourselves, so we don't have to keep flipping back and forth, you can do all of the work on here. I'm going to call this triangle 1, triangle 2, and triangle 3. It doesn't matter how you number it, but if you numbered it differently than mine, you just got to kind of follow along to see where the math is. First, the whole entire rectangle. I got open space here. I'm going to do it here. It doesn't matter where you show the work. That rectangle measures how tall by how wide. 7 by 11. Raise your hand if you got 7 by 11. Fantastic. I'm not even going to write the formula. You don't have to at this point. And then right underneath it, I'm going to put 77. Okay. Triangle 1. I don't know how you numbered it, but it's the triangle in the upper left. What were the dimensions of that? Go ahead, Chelsea. 7 and 4 is correct. Remember, it's triangle. Got to divide by 2. And you get 14. Okay, good so far. If you wanted to, you can even put 14 in here so you can see it. Doesn't matter, you don't have to. Triangle 2, which for me is lower left. What were the dimensions of that? Somebody else. Sarah. Yup, 7 and 4, again, happens to be the same dimensions, it's just turned upside down. Divide by 2, and you also get 14. Good so far? Joe, what about, are you going ahead, Joe, or are you with me on this? Number 3, Joe, do it.
Okay, so I got 3
by, 3 by 11. This is one of those ones where it does result in a decimal because both numbers on top are odd. What'd you get as the math for this? Okay, make it easier on yourselves at this point. You have a calculator, just punch in 77 minus 14 minus 14 minus 16 because remember, you're trying to find this region in the middle. So we found the hole and subtracted the outside triangles. Melissa, what'd you get as a final answer?
32.5.
And you would be right. Just don't forget your units. It's units squared. How many got 32.5 units squared? Fantastic. I will tell you that when you do your exit ticket today or tonight, one of the questions will be exactly like this, where you have to decompose or where you have to compose. There's 2 questions on the exit ticket. The next one I want to do, and I thought it was kind of hard. Let's do it. I believe it's page 22. 22. Let's do it. Do you mind if I erase this? Can I erase this? only because I want to keep everything except the shape for my next class. Just going to make it easier. Back on the air. All right, ready? Check your dots. 1, 7. 1, 7. 9, -3. Oh, this is point E, right? Help me with the letters. E, right? Okay, 9, -3. Thank you. F. Yeah, it's F. But I put the dot in the wrong spot. Thank you. Right there. Better? 9, -3. 6, -6. 6, -6. G? Great. One more, right? 1, -3?
Yes.
That's my H. From here on out, always connect them in alphabetical order. Okay? You got to make sure everybody has the same shape to begin with. Looks like that. Yes? Any idea what it is? It's just a quadrilateral. It's nothing standard. It's not a pentagon. It's not a hexagon. It's not a triangle. It's not a parallelogram. It's not a trapezoid. It's just quadrilateral. Plan of attack. Can you decompose? Can you decompose? You can. Where would you put the line? You want to come and do it? Yep. Let me just straighten it out for you. See it? Now, by doing, that's a terror. I don't like that line. It's too thick. I do want red, though. Line it up nicely, too. Ooh. Now, look at it. We've created how many shapes? And what are the shapes? Triangle. As long as you have one line, just one here, okay, and a line looking at this lower one, I can figure out the height of the lower triangle. Yeah, Olivia? You are allowed to compose. In fact, the way I did it was composition. Let's see if we got the same answer, okay? If I call this triangle 1, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units in height. Am I right? Because I did composition, so help me with this. So we have 10 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 by 8. How many did do decomposition? All right, I'm going to be following your lead. 10 times 8, don't forget we have to divide by 2. So I got 40 for that piece. Am I good so far?
Yes.
Same base. That's 8. My height, I got to go right to the tip. 1, 2, 3. 8 times 3. Divide by 2. And you get 12, right? Add them or subtract them?
Yes.
Olivia, what did you get when you did composition? Yeah. And you would be right, 52. 52 square units. I know, it's wrong up here. Which one? Yeah. Change it for me. Make it 52. Can you change it with pencil? It should be 52. All right, we good? I want to do one more with you because it's crazy busy. Yeah. Some of you already did it. But if you go back to I'll tell you here in a minute. Oh, I have to erase this. You got this? Because I have to erase it. Help me out too, because I have to scroll up and down. All right, so I got 1, -4. What point letter is that? What is it? Help? P, thank you. All right. Let me get to that page. Is my point P correct? I believe so. All right, Q is 5, -2. R is 9, -4. Keep still out there. Keep still. S, 7, -8. Uh-oh. Make sure I see this right. It's not easy doing it on a smartboard. It's easier to do it on paper. Okay, and then I've got 3 and -8. Thank you. 3. And that's T. Connect in alphabetical order. I'll fix that in a minute. Be still. Be still. What's the name of the shape? The pentagon. Okay.
Polygons.
How many of you did this? Who did it by composition? Added to it? You could do it either way. I'll show you both ways. Who did it by composition? All right, if you do it by composition, you're going to make a rectangle around the pentagon. I'll show it to you, but I'm not actually going to do it. Unless you want me to. Because I think the easier way, well, I shouldn't say the easier way. I don't know if there's an advantage either way. Yeah.
Could you do it like from like the corners down? Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, but first, this is, let me say. Let me say. Yeah.
Like that.
No, you can't because you can't create diagonals.
Oh.
Okay? If you do it by composition, without actually doing it, you find the area of the rectangle, you subtract the 4 triangles. Okay? The other way to do it is you can decompose. But you have to decompose with lots of different lines. Did you do decomposition?
Oh, well, I did a mix up there. I cut it there and then I did
You did a little bit of both. That's kind of unique too. What she did is she made the triangle here, the top, and then composed the lower half. That's kind of a mix and match. But if you choose to do all decomposition, and I'll show it in green, this is what you wind up doing. You got to make a line here. Come on. All right. Then, look what happens here. You got to do one here. You got to do one here. Now you have triangle, 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 square. It doesn't matter how you do it. The point is we kind of all got to get to the same place with an answer. What'd you get? Anybody have an answer? Dave, what'd you get? 34.5? A little bit off, Dave. I don't know where, but I have to take a look and see. Luke, what'd you get?
32.
How many got 32 square units? Because that's your answer. I'd have to analyze it, Dave, and see. Okay? All right, so before I let you guys kind of go with your exit ticket, do you have any questions? Because this is your last opportunity to answer questions. Come and show me. It's just easier for me to come up and show me what you want to do. Do it with a marker. Do you want me to erase this metal?
I Like, why can't you just make the line and just leave this a trapezoid? Try to figure it out.
Because in order to do the trapezoid, how would you figure out the area of the trapezoid? Okay? If you have a trapezoid down here, you could split that in half and make two triangles. That's not a bad way to do it either. You could do that. Let me show you what she wanted to do so you can see it. And this is good for everybody too. Yeah, you could do that. That would work too. Like you're starting to realize there's more than one way to do this, which is great. Okay, I make the triangle there. And then what Chelsea said is, okay, I have a trapezoid in the lower half, and we learned, hopefully, any trapezoid can be broken up into two triangles. We draw a line here. For the trapezoid, I have a base for triangle 1 and a height. I have a base, here's my base here, and a height. And then I've got a base and a height. So, and you're essentially making 3 triangles. Did you get 32?
I didn't do it.
You could do it that way. It'll work. Okay? All right, here's kind of the deal. With your exit ticket, there's 2 questions to do. I'm going to kind of be not harsh, because that wouldn't be the word that I want to use. Not harsh, but I just care about whether you get the answer right or wrong. Okay? Because there's going to be so many different ways that you can do this. All I'm asking you is just check over everything before you hand it in. Okay? And again, if you want to take this home tonight and check it tonight, that's fine too. But because there's so many different ways that you can break up stuff, it's a little tough for me to figure out exactly how you're doing it. And so all I care about is, do you get the answer right or do you get the answer wrong? Now you have to show the work. You have to show the work, but you don't have to write the formulas. Okay, you got to kind of do the math, use your calculator, and then circle your final answer when you're done. The whole thing is worth 15 points with a 3-point head start if you fill out your heading. Okay, and then each question 6 points each. Fair enough? And I will answer questions if you have trouble. All right, get started, everybody.